Peace of Mind podcast merges business and psychology.
These topics are designed to inspire solutions for entrepreneurs to provide insights that improve their overall mental health and business success.
We are here with Miss Nikki Sheppard. I'm super excited to have her as a guest on our podcast, Peace of Mind. Her and I share a similar background. Her background is absolutely astounding. She is a licensed professional counselor. She served as an educator, a teacher, and a school counselor. She is the mom of 3 wonderful young adult children, so we also share that in common as well. And she is the owner of the first 21st century mental health gym in Los Angeles, actually Beverly Hills, called Inception. And we are super excited to have her as a guest so that way we can talk all things mental health and business. Miss Nikki Sheppard, I'm so glad to have you here. You are such a powerful woman, mom, and professional counselor, and your background is so impressive.
Thank you.
And your heart is absolutely amazing, but what you have overcame is absolutely courageous.
Thank you.
Share with us a little bit about how you overcame everything that you went through just to get to this point in your life.
Okay, sure. Well, first of all, I'm just so happy and honored to be here as your first podcast guest. So thank you for having me.
Be one number one.
Yeah,
right. So I really appreciate that from both of you. But, I started out in education. I was a teacher and a counselor and went to school for that. Had 3 beautiful children and was married for 20 years. And unfortunately, we decided to divorce after that. And so that was really a tough situation for me. I didn't realize at the time the impact that it would have on my body, the impact it would have on me mentally. And for the first time in my life, I found myself in a very, very low point. And I remember one night in particular, I was crying out to God, and I was just needing a solution. I was tired of talking about it. To be honest, I was tired of rehearsing my story, even though I had a huge part to play in it. It was still very painful to navigate. And I found myself also with all my training as a teacher, even as a counselor, licensed professional counselor and a school counselor, I still didn't have the tools necessary. So in that dark moment, I was actually on Instagram and on the Explore page and, just kind of, looking through, and I saw I saw someone by the name of David McCullough on there, and he is the CEO and founder of Inception, which is a mental health gym, the first mental health gym, and out of Detroit, Michigan. And what compelled me to, listen to his story and also, learn more about his journey is that he suffered from panic attacks and depression most of his life, and started this business and brand in the midst of going through that and navigating that. And so I just felt like, this was something that I wanted to try. So I found myself on a plane.
Now that definitely takes courageous action.
Yes. So I flew all the way to Michigan and had this service called brain training, neurofeedback training. Fell in love with it, and for the first time, I was like, this is my answer. This is my solution. And so, I told myself, I said, if people are hurting like this, and even though I've worked with clients and students or what have you, if they're hurting, to the level that I felt the pain that I was experiencing, I want to be a part of the solution. Yes. So I ended up opening Inception.
Congratulations.
And brought it to Los Angeles. Thank you so much. It's a franchise out of Michigan, like I said, out of Farmington Hills. And it's just been a blessing, It's been a blessing learning to love myself again, to find myself again, to believe in myself again,
100%.
As a new business owner.
Yes. And what's even more courageous about your story is that not only did you get on a plane to go and seek a solution, but you also started your business in a brand new city that you are not even from.
Right. So many prayers. So,
yes.
So thankful for guys like you. So you guys can help me.
For sure.
I was
Figure it
thinking
all
about,
out.
Yeah, it's crazy because we've been thinking about living in Texas, and you're coming out to California.
Yeah.
So when we met you, like we were super excited just because of just just your radiance and your light, and the fact that you are interacting with business owners and you're interacting with different athletes, and especially being in the LA area.
Right.
What's the connection between mental health and being successful in business?
I think for me, just making sure that I took the time to take care of my needs, my emotional needs. And so that came with balance, having balance, realizing when you have some mental shifts that need to be addressed and challenged, and owning those, and working on those. And so for me, I have been very diligent in making sure that I take care of my mental health, because I know that it directly affects my effectiveness and my ability to help others. And so I feel like once you focus on helping yourself and getting past the shifts that you may have or the issues that you may have in life, then you're able to be more successful, because you're able to not only bring your experience to the table to help others, but then you're also able to just realize that you can overcome, And so I just think being very diligent in planning, what your next steps are and how that healing looks like and what that means.
Absolutely.
And addressing it. I love the fact that it's trending now. Mental health is what everyone's talking about, from athletics to business people, males, females, all races, genders. It's just amazing. And it's time. It's overdue.
I love it. Yeah, because I think, especially when we started thinking about this topic, you start to hear about it more and more, because typically mental health is something that's put under the rug. And people don't want to talk about it. People don't want to be open. And oftentimes they live these quiet lives of desperation.
Right.
And it's crazy because, when you're talking about something that's so prevalent, sometimes people think they're by themselves.
That's it. That's it.
And so just having you bring some clarity to that. What's the process like when they're actually sitting in your office and they're going through that whole process of, going through the mental, the brain train? What's that?
Well, when they first come in, I do I work on the energy in the environment, because that's very important to me. So it is a spa-like gym atmosphere, very serene, very zen. You have the meditation music, you have the essential oils, and everything. And then I basically give them orientation of what they'll experience, welcome them to my place. They're in a massage chair for 33 minutes. And it's a zero gravity one, so they're at the perfect angle for them to be able to rest. And then we have sensors. It's from NeuroOptimal is what it's called. But anyway, that's the company. And they have sensors on their ears and sensors on their scalp. And they can go to sleep if they want to, but they're listening to meditation music. And as they're listening to the music, their brain is self-correcting. So it's really their brain healing itself. So much like we exercise physically, we also need to exercise our mind, because scientists have proven in very recent years that our brain is neuroplastic, meaning that it can change and it can grow. And specifically with people that suffer from anxiety and depression and PTSD, Alzheimer's, autism, stress. I mean, it's endless what it can do, and I love that it's been around for 40 years.
40 years?
40 years.
Man, I didn't even know that.
Right.
Wow, okay.
And all my training, I had no idea either that this even existed. And had it not been for Instagram,
That's right.
and had it not been for Instagram, I probably wouldn't have found it, and me stopping and listening to what the founder had to say about mental health. Yeah.
I love that. Sometimes I think as business owners, our minds are wired differently.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I think about my life before I was an entrepreneur versus my life as an entrepreneur, and they're completely different ways of thinking. So in your experience, what's been the difference in terms of how entrepreneurs think besides, compared to how the other people in the world think?
Yeah. Well, you definitely know what you're made of.
No doubt about
it will
that.
teach you within week one. It's what am I doing?
Do the right thing, right?
Right. It's oh God, it's too late.
Exactly.
I actually signed that paperwork.
I'm into this, so I just got to do it.
Right. So I think the difference is there's a certain level of tenacity, a certain level of believing in oneself, that you have a unique gift to give to the world. which we all do, you know, but it's acknowledgement of that and pursuing that and going after it no matter what. And it's a no matter what piece is the land that I'm living in, you know, right now, and the land that so many of us live in. You know, when you have those moments of fear, you have those moments of, oh, am I going to be able to pay my bills this month? You know?
And sometimes you really have to make the decision between, do I keep my business going or do I pay those bills this month?
Right. It's like my counseling suite. I could put a bed right there, you know, in the back of Inception. You know? It's like, you know, making plans for, you know, worst case scenario, acknowledging that it is a 50-50 opportunity. And I say opportunity because, you know, you can see what you're made of. You know, it's an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to learn. Even if it doesn't work out, you know, you have take such knowledge from that experience. And so I think we are unicorns. You know, entrepreneurs are unicorns. I say it all the time. I'm like, man, I didn't even know. Like, I have so much respect for entrepreneurs at this point in my life because I know now.
Yes,
the amount of faith, the amount of courage, the amount of, you know, wiping the tears away and getting in there and grinding again, you know, the next day and saying, you know, I'm going to make it happen.
Absolutely.
You know, because my gift is bigger than what I'm going through right now. And I know that I have something to share with the world and I have something that will help them immensely. And that's exactly where I'm at.
I love that. I love that because oftentimes when you're on the journey, you have to see what that gift is going to be ultimately.
Right.
But when you're in the midst of the struggles and all the frustration that's coming along, sometimes it gets very difficult to really get to that place where you have to see beyond where you are currently. So I think there's just a certain wiring that we have to have, and you spoke to that really well. Right. So,
and it's so interesting too because I feel like I always had it, but I went with, okay, let me go the route that I know is secure. You know, and let me ride this as long as I can, you know, and make sure I have the financial backing and all of that. So it's nice. I love entrepreneurship, and I don't think I could ever go back, you know, to not doing this at least part-time or full-time because it just is such a benefit to me, and it's my happy place.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Once you've gone and you can't turn back,
right?
As scary as it is, some parts of you say, you know what, man, I like the security. I like the sanctuary of just knowing that I have a consistent paycheck. But once you get out, man, there's just nothing like the hunt, nothing like just
flexibility.
Yes, exactly. Having that time freedom and flexibility. That's so important. So for sure. So
So listening to your story even more, you mentioned that you're a mom and that you were married for quite some time. Just how proud you must be of yourself to have taken that leap of faith, as well as doing it as a single female right now. So looking at the fact that you are a single female, how would you say that the world needs more female entrepreneurs?
Well, I feel like I love being a female, number one. Like, I'm a girly girl, so anything that we're a part of, right? Pink, right? Ski-wee. But anything we're a part of, like, I feel like we bring such a divine energy. Yes. You know, it's just we're able to look at things from a different lens. And I feel like it's definitely needed. You know, I love the fact that there's so many women that have, you know, kind of what I was sharing with you, is that we have these gifts that we've been given. And for whatever reason, we've always put ourselves in role of mom and role of homemaker.
Supporter.
And right. And help maker and all of that. But I just love the fact that this is, you know, we're building empires now.
Yes.
You know, there's women that are courageous enough to say, hey, I have this gift and I'm going to go and I'm going to pursue it and I'm going to open up a business and a brand. Even down the street from where my business is, there's so many female entrepreneurs. And so sometimes I just go and I sit in their space just to be in their energy because we're all, you know, in that vein.
Yes.
I just definitely think it's needed. I think it's needed also to show examples to our children.
100%.
Yeah, so I have 3 children. My son is 20, Michael, and he's in college, and he's pursuing business and fashion, and so he started his own clothing line. And so we're kind of pushing each other, you know?
Definitely.
And I'm like, you know, we're having conversations now. Went from me helping him with the schoolwork to us having business conversations about entrepreneurship and, hey, try this, and what do you think about this? And giving each other ideas. So that's beautiful.
Building on your family foundation.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then I have twin daughters who are 18. And one, she's already in college, and so she's pursuing medicine, so she'll eventually be a business owner. And then my youngest is finishing up her senior year, and she also wants to be an entrepreneur. She wants to do cosmetology. So I feel that, a lot of women, when we make this step and we take the initiative to open business and to be business owners, I feel like our kids will follow suit.
Definitely.
I feel like they're watching, and it's also giving them the platform of courage and tenacity to be able to do it for themselves.
And to overcome fears, because they can see you, like you shared, as the role model.
Right.
And they have the path paved for them, but that doesn't mean that it's still going to be easy.
Right.
But they know that they can make it.
Right. And they've seen, their dad and I go our separate ways and have been such a support. But I think it's so exciting for them to know mom's in LA and she's building this business.
Yes.
And, they come to see me frequently and just watching me, rise. So sometimes I call on them for support. I'm like, why am I doing this again? To help people. Yes, that's right.
They're giving back to you what you instilled in them,
right.
Which is interesting because we give birth. And that's exactly what you did
yes, I
to
love that.
this business is you saw the vision and you gave birth to it in a whole new city that is just blessing the Los Angeles area. And I know you have goals of even expanding in other areas as well.
I do. And I think for me, I started realizing, I said, and this is a great piece for entrepreneurs. It's like, what's missing? What's the missing piece? And I felt like there's nobody right now that looks like me that's in this space that's dealing with the brain and,
Yes.
knowing about the brain and how to train it and how to get back on course after adversity. And so I said, this is an opportunity, for me to be in this space, to live in this space and to share all my years of training, to share also my heart.
Yes.
Now I have the experience of going through some things. And so I think I come from a very different lens, a powerful lens. And not to toot my own horn, it's just I know how to navigate emotional pain.
Right.
And still be successful and still, find your niche and, a way of living.
And I think as women, that is one of our greatest gifts is that we are able to navigate our pain, but you have found a platform that you can actually help other women who are struggling to be able to process that pain and have a solution for their healing. And not just women, but overall athletes, leaders, executives. So what you've been able to do is going to be able to be helpful for the world because we know entrepreneurs are problem solvers.
Absolutely.
And they're innovators, but their brain needs to be ready to be able to do the things that they're gifted and that they're called to do.
Right. Which is where that balance comes in.
Yes.
It's so important.
Yes.
Yep, acknowledging that.
Yes.
That's
yes.
Yes.
So we want you to share just a little bit with the listeners about where you can be found and how they can actually connect with you.
Okay. Well, I can be found on Instagram. I run my business off of Instagram. So it's Nikki Speaks, Nikki, SPEAKS. And then I also am on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. You can meet me at my business, Inception. It's in Beverly Hills. It's off of Beverly Drive, 1135 South Beverly Drive, Suite A. So I can't wait to meet you. I want to come and chat, even if you don't want to try the service at first. I can share with you all the details and we can walk through an orientation and see what you think, but it is a game changer. So
Yes. So you spoke about game changers. So
Yes.
Can you give some final thoughts on if someone is wanting to go into the world of entrepreneurship, some game changer tips for them to be successful?
Okay, so game changer tips, I would say, number one, make sure that you take care of your mental health. So, just ask yourself the questions, where am I at mentally? Are there any things that I need to work on? Am I suffering with depression, anxiety? Do I have stress? Am I sleeping well? Ask yourself those important questions because without that being handled, then it's going to be difficult to navigate. Because it's very strenuous to be an entrepreneur, but it's very, very rewarding. So I would say take care of your mental health. I would say make sure that you have a good team. And that doesn't mean necessarily a financial team, although that's wonderful. But start with some people that can pray for you, some people that can stand in the gap with you, that can encourage you in those times where you feel distressed or you feel uncertain. And I would also say plan, write the vision, write down the details of what you would like to do and get connected with someone in business, like these wonderful people here, to inspire you, to help you get the tools that you need to be able to be successful. And just stay plugged in, network, and believe in yourself.
Yes. Thank you so much for spending your afternoon with us at Peace of Mind.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.